This is your top story over here, starting today.
Did you read about
damn, I didn't see this at all, dude. I didn't see this at all. This is from Elon Musk. All it is a tweet, but it has huge implications. Starting today, Twitter will share ad revenue with creators for ads that appear in their reply threads. To be eligible, the account must be a subscriber to Twitter Blue Verified. Yeah. Okay, this is good. This is the main attractiveness of YouTube, and it's what made YouTube in the early days, where other social media was kind of limping and kind of unsure of its approach to monetization. YouTube came along, they're like, partner program.
Yeah, let's share our monetization.
Let's go ahead and figure out a revenue split to encourage people to commit to the platform and make businesses around it and actually get better at it. Other social media, it was like people were busy poking each other and were uncertain of how to turn things into businesses. Now, granted, people did. Good business people found ways to turn audiences into revenue through other means. But at scale and across the board, that was YouTube. That was early to that game and truly legitimized the idea of being a social media content creator. That was early days. I honestly sometimes wonder of what and how my future would have transpired, my future in the past, had that program not existed, as at least some sort of indication of having a real job with an actual reward in it that was relatively static or predictable. I mean, it was miniature in the beginning, but it gave you a sense of the fact that, there's some meaning to what you're doing. There's some value to it. And Elon, when he first took over Twitter, started talking about what should we do. And I know he became interested in creators, and he was actually chatting back and forth. Mr. Beast is like, maybe I should be the CEO. What would it take? How do you rank these social medias? He was very inquisitive about that. And of course, things get compared to YouTube. Everyone spends time on YouTube, don't they? And this must be the effect of some of those inquiries, which is to discover that, hey, this could have a drastic impact on the quality of content that shows up over here. And I believe it would, shared revenue. But it has to be significant, because TikTok said the same thing, and then people are posting they got 100 million views for 50 cents or whatever it was. Well, that's not really what we're talking about. They're not really creating a business based on that. Now, who's to blame? You got to make the ad sales in the end. And my understanding is the ad sales really softened up, not just for Twitter, but even for the likes of Google, where individuals like us on YouTube, we have to move and cruise to try to find ways to figure out our business path. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fluctuation on the YouTube ad side and just all the larger global factors that kind of weigh into it. But just even indicating that it's important to you and suggesting that it's part of your long-term plan is big news for the creator ecosystem. That, now there's this other avenue, this other place to post where I can get a piece of the ad revenue. I don't think it will be at the scale of YouTube immediately, but it at least goes towards that direction. Now, I would say it's a bit of a weird one. You need to be a subscriber to Twitter Blue. So you got to be paying Twitter to potentially share in the ads shown on Twitter. Now, I know at first that sounds a little nefarious, where you're like, are most creators even going to generate enough revenue to offset their Blue subscription of $84 per year or $8 per month or $11 on iOS? Maybe not. Meanwhile, Twitter's reportedly charging businesses $1,000 per month to have a gold check mark. So it's going to be squirrely, no doubt. Some people are maybe going to be able to pull it off. And I know what Elon's going to say if he gets pressed on it. Elon's going to say, well, we want it to be only on properly verified accounts. We can't have people sharing in the revenue that are posting all kinds of garbage. And so how do we do that? We do it through our validation process. And our validation process just happens to cost you money. It's called Twitter Blue. And anyone can take part. So how it gets implemented, the details don't look to be there yet. But for me in 2023, this is a must if you want to have a competitive content marketplace that's attractive to creators. If you want to be in the same territory as YouTube and Twitch and Instagram, and I guess I can add TikTok to a lesser extent, but there are people are making some pennies and they're selling their own sponsorships and things. then you have to have some avenue or some angle for this.
I think the idea of like posting and then getting revenue, I think it adds a lot of engagement on Twitter. There's a lot of people that just want to, post and dialogue and, they get money from it. Kind of makes sense, right? On Twitter.
Well, I think that the main thing here is going to be how it's interpreted by the end user. And if all of a sudden the end user is seeing 14 ads in the replies instead of actually seeing the dialogue, it's all about ratio and elegance and figuring out a way to not hit people in the funny bone. You know what I'm saying?
The funny bone.
I really mean like the nasty bone, like whatever it is that gives you that irritation, that fatigue where you're like, no thanks, and check out completely. So they're going to have to be gentle with it. They're going to have to be careful with it. And really what I think is forget about the replies. They should just be like YouTube. They should try to think about some pre-roll, and they should try to encourage video to be posted there. That's the hot stuff. Now, I know it's kind of annoying. You're like, I don't want every site to be a video site, but I don't know how you're going to, like, velocity around a tweet, and then you got guys advertising on inflammatory tweets, like, what, political figures? I don't know. It gets kind of...
Yeah.
Monetizing a tweet seems, I don't know, slightly weirder at the moment, but I'm sure they'll figure out a sophisticated way. It's maybe it's because we haven't seen it before.
Yeah.